Hot Shots Part Deux. Part Deux. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And just a quick note from our friends over at Blackout Coffee Company. Make sure you head over and give them a try. Links in the description. Happy Friday. That's right. End of the work week. Weekend is just a couple of short hours away, and I'm here for it. Baby, tell you what, it's been a rough day, and let's get into something fun. We're talking about Hot Shots Part Deux today. And no, I don't know if that's how you say it, but that's how I say it, because it makes me laugh. So let's just get right into it, shall we? Hot Shots Part Deux, 1993, PG-13, 1 hour, 26 minutes. Rambo parody in which Topper Harley leads a rescue team into Iraq to save Iraqi war prisoners and all of their previous rescue teams. So he's sending Topper in to save the people, to save the people, to save the people. Directed by Jim Abrams, written by Jim Abrams and Pat Proft, stars Charlie Sheen, Lloyd Bridges, Valeria, Golino, and many others. Hour and a half. It's on Hulu right now. Fantastic. All right, let's talk about it. All right. To be perfectly frank, this movie is better than the first. I gotta be honest. For me, the story is more cohesive and it's funnier. I think it's because it's more cohesive. It makes sense in the world they've built. And even though there are characters in this from the first one, and this takes place after the first one, really there's only a couple people in it that are from the first movie. And to me, my brain looks at it less like a sequel and more like a standalone movie with characters you kind of relate to from something else, if that makes sense. Although the first one was a parody of Top Gun, it was discombobulated in several different ways. Still fun watch, still funny, still makes you laugh, but it just is not as cohesive as a story. This movie is a straight up, like, point A to point B, stupid as can be, with so many background jokes that you have to pay attention to catch them, which gives it rewatchability, even though the story is easy to understand, simple to go with, and the things going on in front of the camera, like with the actors, is already funny. Some of the stuff they say is brilliant, hilarious, and then you have the extra comedy of the background, like visual gimmicks that are even funnier. So it just is a better movie. Now, I'm sure lots of people won't agree with that. A lot of people feel like the sequels always get worse, and that's generally true for a lot of things. But if you look at these two movies, instead of looking at part one and part two, and just look at them as separate movies, because first off, a jet fighter pilot being a stand-in for a Rambo character, that makes no sense anyway. Why would they send him on a rescue mission? He's a fighter pilot. Like, unless you want him to fly over and blow everybody up. So I think that's why my brain takes it and makes it separate, right? That's just the best way to look at it. Take the first one out of the situation. This movie is just a fun time. I would say it more closely resembles Naked Gun and Airplane, etc., than the first one does. And why that is, I don't know. Of course, in anyone's career, whether it be a writer, director, or a writer and director, You have hits and misses. The first one's definitely not a miss, but it doesn't hold up as well watching it 20, 30 years later. Whereas this one, I had a great time watching this one. It was just fun. And I was at no point was I like, oh, come on. No, it was great. I had no problem with it. It holds up really, really well. Now, a lot of the jokes some people aren't going to get because of the time period. 1993 was a completely different time period politically, and who we were at war with, or who we might be at war with, etc. So some of those things may not hit the same with younger people, but overall, the jokes in this just land so well. And yes, some of them are so stupid. Doesn't matter. They land the same. They still land. And at my age, we need the jokes to land. All right? Because these days, most people don't understand what we're talking about. And that's fine. I'm old, right? Have you seen this movie? Has it been a long time since you've seen this movie? Then might I suggest you watch it today. Maybe right after watching this, or maybe this weekend. This is a great date night movie. And I will say, for parents out there, there is a slash of sensuality in a couple of scenes. But now, to be fair, I'm blind in one eye and mostly blind in the other. But I didn't see any graphic nudity. There is like the beginning of a sex scene, but the one person that has no shirt on is in the shadows. It'll make sense if you're watching, right? And there's a gag going on where they're jumping off a high dive and doing a couple flips and then landing on the bed. So I didn't see anything, but other than that, tiny bit of language maybe. Funny enough, there's not much language and stuff in this that I noticed. Now maybe I wasn't paying attention for that. I was laughing a lot, right? But just so we're clear, I didn't see anything horrible in this movie. So, family friendly? Maybe. A lot of the jokes I think would really, a lot of kids wouldn't appreciate or even understand. So, there's that. For you adults out there, might I suggest Hot Shots Part 2? All right. All right, we're getting out of here. We're going to start our weekend. I'm going to take a little bit of a rest. And hopefully by next week, I'll be feeling better after the goofy biopsy I had today, right? But don't worry, they said I would get my results in 3 to 5 business days. I swear. All right, from Michael, the microphone, Bob, squeaky chair in the back, and this big fat nerd. We will see you on Monday.